Hey again, guys. So I'm doing some organizing and I'm replacing some cards in some of my displays. And while I'm doing that, it gives me a chance to show you some cards that I either haven't shown before or showed a long, long time ago while I'm swapping out these cards. So I have a stack here of really great cards that I wanted to share with you. First is a 1983 O-Pee-Chee Wayne Gretzky. Fabulous card. Here is a 1972 Topps Tony Esposito. Here is a 1973 Topps Pistol Pete Maravich. Here's a 1952 Ben Hogan, my favorite golfer of all time. Wheaties. Of course, he has a portrait as well. I have that on an uncut sheet of these. Now, many of you may think I'm crazy, but this is my favorite Jerry Rice card of all time. I still remember getting it. There was a flea market that happened in Perryopolis, which is right down the road from where Joe Montana grew up. And those of you from the Pittsburgh area, Western PA, probably have been to that flea market. I used to go there years and years ago. I don't know if it's still there, but I love this. I just love this Jerry Rice. And this is one of the first big passing teams. These Rams, they were fantastic. They had Crazy Legs Hirsch on one side and Tom Fears on the other side. And this was their quarterback, 1955 Bowman, Norm Van Brocklin. And I love me that white football. Just like I like the red, white, and blue basketball from the ABA. A fabulous card. And one of my favorite all-time basketball players. We have here an 81 Topps Larry Bird. And you had to be pretty good to have an award named after you. And this was my father's favorite college football player. He said he used to listen to him on the radio. And that is Doak Walker. Another white football. And here we have the 68-69 Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. Here we have a Salada coin. I just love this thing. From 62, Jim Brown. And here we have a 1962 Parkhurst, Alex Del Vecchio. See the puck in the background. That was an old-fashioned memorabilia card with the puck. Now they put the actual puck. My favorite basketball player of all time, Dr. J. This was an early one I had graded. And, SGC's labels get a little funky, so I had actually reholdered this when I pulled all my cards out of storage, but I did it before they went to the switch to the new holders. And this is a fabulous Bart Starr, 1969 Topps. And one of my very first vintage basketball cards I ever got, I remember at my store in the early 90s, probably 90, 91-ish, I had a card store, Joe's Sports Cards. And, well, it became Joe's. I think it was something else first. And that guy was fantastic. He was always in there with his son. I used to go. He'd give me all kind of deals. I get all kind of great cards, hang out, talk cards. He was a good guy, and it was a great shop. And back then they had a lot of traffic. And I got three. I remember my first three vintage basketball cards. It was this one. I got an Oscar Robertson, and I got a tall boy with Wilt Chamberlain. One of the highlights. You know what? Let me go get it. I realized I have it hanging up there. So easy access, and I got this one. So I got this Wilt Chamberlain. Ended up grading what, a 6? Yeah. But I actually picked up another one that I think is would grade higher, and it's centered perfectly. So I have two of these bad boys, but this is one of my first vintage basketball cards. And when I say vintage, I mean like pre 1979-ish, 78-ish, something like that. So it's always these cards are a bit special to me. So I got those in the Oscar Robertson and picked them up, back then for next to nothing. And not a whole lot of people were collecting vintage basketball either. And then I got this from Topps to honor the 70-point game. And this arrived today. So that's what I have for you. Thanks for hanging out with me.